Hello and welcome to On the Other Hoof. Day one of Glorious Goodwood is firmly behind us now. We have a very, very average card ahead of us for day two of Glorious Goodwood, it has to be said, with the exception of maybe a couple of races, including Kingman versus Toronado and Wind Shear, Snow Sky, Observational, that lot. But us three are back tonight. Michael, you were there at Goodwood today. How was it?
Yeah, it was really nice actually. It was good. It was decent weather. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't cold or anything. And it was a nice crowd, but it wasn't packed. I have a feeling tomorrow it's going to be packed.
Now we have to say you did pick up a sporting injury, didn't you?
Yeah, blisters.
Blisters on shoe.
So if you see me limping tomorrow, that's because my whatever plasters I put on will not be adequate. So I'll probably just have to kill the back of my shoes like I did when I was walking back.
Yeah. I blame you for this darkness on our camera, by the way. When I'm on myself, it's fine. Like, it's absolutely perfect, but you've broken it. So we apologise for the darkness again. Adam Webb is back once more, and our naps weren't really the best today.
No.
Although, I argue that mine doesn't stand, because Gregorian was a non-runner.
But then again, it'd all gone into a single on Tormo, wouldn't it? So.
No, because if you do a forecast, you just get your money back, right?
Oh, fair enough then.
Yeah, boom, got away with it. Although if Tormore won, I would be claiming that. Obviously. But yeah, as I say, it's a highly uninspiring day of racing tomorrow, I think it's fair to say, Adam.
I'd agree with that completely. I mean, we've got the Sussex Stakes, and then I look at the rest of the card and I just think, it's not a good day.
Yeah. Well worth the £40 though that Goodwood charged to get in, which is an absolute rip-off, it has to be said. But so well done, Goodwood. Not only have you completely sabotaged one of your best races of the year in Stewards Cup, you also rip off everyone that go into the racecourse. Well done. Now we get started.
On a more brighter note.
The first race tomorrow isn't the worst on the card. It is the 355. Before I say that, if you've got any questions for tonight's video...
The 155, you mean, not the 355.
I read 1355. But yeah, if you've got any questions for tomorrow's card, or if you've got any fantasy on tomorrow's card, we'd love to hear them and we'll read them out
today as
at
well.
the end of the video. Michael's got a boo-boo. But the 155 starts us off, and I imagine that Made in Rio is going to be a very warm favourite. It's already well back today, and I believe me and Adam agree on this one.
Yeah, it's the fact that she's top rated in the race. This is a handicap, and she gets £22. So theoretically, she's £22 well in before you've even begun. I know it's 2 mile 5, but she's improved so much this season. She's gone up 30 in the handicap, so I think she's definitely the one to beat. I know Luke won't be pleased to know that Brockwell is price-wise, and I think he could run a big race. And you've also got Lieutenant Miller in there, who is a consistent place horse in these type of big handicaps over various staying distances. But yeah, I think Maiden Rio will get favourite backers off to a good start.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Maiden Rio was so impressive last time out. Okay, probably got a soft run on the front end, but you can't really take that away from her. No, she did her job in hand. Joe Fanning takes over the ride again. Joe's obviously been in fantastic form. Mark Johnston had, was it a first, third, and fourth on day one. So the Yard are in absolutely flying form. Once they are, it's just a time where you say, okay, right, we'll just let them have their purple patch, and if we can back any of theirs, which Maiden Rio should be a winner, then fair enough. But yeah, no, Brockwell, little disappointed that he is price-wise, because that price is going to completely go. And I thought he might be an each-way proposition. I think this race could just be perfect for him. It's just, it's not particularly high in class. There aren't that many unexposed horses. George Baker's a good jockey booking. He just needs someone really, really strong in the saddle. No offence to Haley Turner last time, that was a good enough ride, but just probably ran out of time a little bit. But no, Maiden Rio should take a lot of beating tomorrow. And you've been trying to find someone to get Maiden Rio beat. Have you been successful in that?
Yeah.
No, that is a no.
I think it's going to be difficult to beat Maiden Rio, but as per normal, I can't deal with anything short than 3-1 as a serious selection, unless it's my 10 or yours.
And when you can lose your money on it.
Oh, so funny. Interesting fact, Presto Volante has only been beaten once with James Doyle aboard.
What's the name of the horse again?
Presto Volante. Romeo Montague is a non-runner, but that's one of the most awkward horses. I don't think he ever likes to win. The two that I think are interesting, and a horse that I liked before the Ascot race, was Soha, who was beaten 5 lengths by domination over a similar trip at Ascot. I thought that was a really good run there, and I worried that he wasn't going to stay, but he's proved that, and I think on this ground, he'll run up to a same standard if he can repeat that. Before his run behind domination, he was beaten by Paul Thomas, who I rate, although hasn't necessarily frankly form since, and also Chocalo, only beat by less than 2 lengths 3 starts ago, and then beat Ballandary Boy the time before that. So I think Sohar's a really interesting horse. Just underneath that one as well, Ray Ward is one of the more interesting types. Literally just read what it said there. I was just thinking of something to say and it popped up. But yeah, I think Maiden Rio's the one that takes your fancy. All the rest are largely exposed and a good 2 years older than her. She gets plenty of weight from the top ones, including obviously.
Basically, Maiden Rio could still be a group performer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. On that point, she has got an entry in the German St. Ledger, so it's something I saw today. Yeah.
Well, German St. Ledger isn't quite this far.
It's a Group 3 over -6.
Yeah, that is not difficult to win either, I have to admit. I can't remember who won it last year, but she's come out and done nothing since. That's pretty much all I can say. Made in Rio, I think, but I think Sohar as an each way price is about 16 to 1. Yeah, Sohar will be my selection.
Right, so Made in Rio to start us off well at Goodwood on day 2. The second race on the card is the Gordon Stakes, won last year by Kappa Rushes. You remember that was a very messy race. Now, we looked at this earlier on, and how the hell is Windshear 8 to 1?
I honestly don't know.
Answers on a postcard, please.
Answers on a postcard, please, Craig Charles. But surely he should not be 8 to 1. He brings some of the best form in the race. He's got a lot of 2s beside his name, but it's just
Scotland is German bred.
That's very immature. But he's got a lot of 2s next to his name. It's by no means awkward. He puts everything into each race. He just keeps bumping into one. And tomorrow, I'd be fairly confident that he's one of the, if not the best horse in the race. The ratings would disagree with that, but there's a lot of inconsistent horses in the field. You have to agree with that, Adam, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you've got the top of the market, you've got Somewhat, who was a surprising third in the Eclipse, and if he's allowed to dominate from the front, he could be hard to peg back. Snow Sky was a horse I did like before last time out, but I actually wasn't convinced he saw out the 1.5 miles at Ascot. Red Galileo was a horse that I seemed to put up every time he ran as a 2-year-old, and he actually ran a really good race in the Derby to finish 5th, and he could potentially improve, but I agree with Luke on Windshear. I think he's a really big price in this. And some of the form, I mean, he was second to Hartnell, who could have come for this race as well. I think he's got a big chance here.
Yeah, you have to agree. I thought maybe he might be vulnerable to strongly stayers last time, and he was pretty found out by Hartnell, but Hartnell's going to be a major contender in the St. Leger by the looks of it, so there's no bad thing in losing to him. Somewhat outran his odds in a major way in the Eclipse, but he has to prove that wasn't a fluke. He hasn't been the same horse that he was last season this year whatsoever so far. Scotland, it looks like he lacks pace, a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
Guy I don't think is good enough. Observational is an interesting one. He'd be the one that I'd put up against Windshear as the biggest danger. But again, he's got a lot of improvement to find, I think. Cloudscape as well maybe would be another one to step up, but as the betting goes, for me, they've got it completely wrong, but I'm not going to complain. Windshear is about 8 to 1. I think that's a huge each way price anyway. Do you agree with Windshear as well?
I completely agree, and I can't see him out of the first 3.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really can't find 3 horses that could beat him. Cloudscape has got close. Or did he beat him on debut? Did he beat him?
Yeah, he beat very narrowly.
He beat him, but hasn't he returned swapped the form around? No, I'm not sure. But I'd have those 2 more closely matched. Observational beat Marzocco last time out, hasn't really franked the form since. Red Galileo, I think, is interesting of the others, actually, in fairness, and I think he's a big price as well. So yeah, Windshear and Red Galileo would be my 2. Snow Sky, I've never been a fan of. I was always a Western Hymn fan in comparison.
Yeah.
I think Snow Sky was really disappointing last time, even though also Eagle Top could be a really good performer. I just thought Snow Sky was just poor. Somewhat, we don't really know what he is at the moment.
I think Somewhat needs softer ground. I think that's key to him.
I can see that.
His action is very, very high knee action. At the ground, whoa! There's a helicopter taking us out of the room. somewhat, I don't think will appreciate the fast ground. I'm happy to be proved wrong. I can't see him taking to the ground. I think
I just
7-2 is a rancid
You
price
can
about him.
pick holes in
Oh, yeah.
everything ahead of Windshield.
Winshire is just a solid horse, isn't he? He's one that I've had a real soft spot for this year. Every single time he puts 100% in. We saw him first time out of Sandown, and he won a soft ground, and he's proved as well that he can handle fast.
Second time.
The second time.
Yeah, he got beat by Carlos Faith.
I also saw him at Newmarket the first time out.
Oh, right, I just did see him, yeah.
So that's me end of stuff. My bad. But yeah, I think Winshire is a storming each way price. But moving on to the feature races of the day, if you're not at Galway, the Sussex Stakes favourite at the moment is Kingman, and likely to go off favourite. Toronado is also 2-1, Outstrip 25-1, and Darwin at 50-1. Walkerman was confirmed a non-runner this morning on a vet certificate. But looking at the race, there is a severe lack of pace on him, and it could just turn into a sprint if one of the outsiders maybe doesn't take the initiative, because you can't imagine Kingman or Toronado would be too interested in taking them along.
No. If it does turn into a sprint, I think Kingman wins it. It's simple as that. I mean, I did say to you guys earlier that if I had a bit of a doubt about he may not even run tomorrow, because if the ground is as quick as it is today, John Gosden may have doubts about running him. But if he turns up, he wins for me. I've never, as Michael will say as well, we've never been fans of Toronado, and he is entitled to come on for that Queen Anne run, and the vibes are really positive about him. But he's got to give £8 to Kingman, and I think Kingman is exceptional. And they could be famous last words tomorrow if Toronado does beat Kingman, but I think Kingman wins. And I will say this: if Kingman doesn't run, I would actually fancy Outstrip to beat Toronado, because I really like Outstrip. So, yeah, Kingman should win this.
I think Outstrip will be
If Kingman or Toronado comes out, this will be a very, very poor Group 1.
Oh God, yeah.
Toronado shouldn't come out. Toronado got no
In a way,
issue with the
it's
ground.
always disappointing that a smaller owner hasn't got one of their horses in this.
Yeah,
because we're represented by Cornwall, Al Shakab, Prince Khalid Abdullah, and Godolphin. So there's good prize money on offer, but it's just down to prize money down to sixth for just over £4,000. So it's decent prize money on offer, but I think Outstrip's going to excel on the ground for sure. First time out, he scoped dirty after the Guineas. I think he actually finished last in the 2000 Guineas, which completely isn't his run whatsoever. Third in the St James's Palace was much more like it. I think that was a real step forward for him again, and he has proved, I think, in that run that he has trained on. I'd like to see him put one more big run in, but I'd have no problem maybe not backing him against the big guns tomorrow, but if Kingman did come out, then I'd probably put him in a reverse forecast with Toronado and hope that Outstrip can turn him over, but it's a big ask, isn't it? But I do think that Outstrip is a fantastic horse in his own right, just maybe not the class of Kingman or Toronado, but I'd love to see it. As far as win purposes go, me and Michael were talking yesterday, it's not even a race, I don't think. I just think Kingman is far superior
I
to
don't think
Toronado.
it's really a duel.
No.
It's more procession on the downs.
Yeah. I don't think that I think they're going for alliteration more than that, but
yeah.
Even level weights, I think I'd still fancy Kingman.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that he's getting £8 is just, I've never been a fan of Toronado. And to be honest, I know Adam says there's positive reports coming out of Toronado's camp, but there was for the whole of last year, and it took him 3 goes to finally beat
There's
Dawn
very
Approach.
positive reports for Tormore today. So.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, Tormore didn't run a bad race, don't get me wrong, but
to be beaten, I love SK Love, but to be beaten by SK Love,
exactly.
who was placing in Class 2 handicap, albeit competitive ones, but not group races.
I think Clive Cox has found the key to SK Love. Just give him a break. And then he's improved so much this season, though, and it was fair. I was thrilled that he won. So, yeah.
So at the moment, we've all agreed on every race. We've had Maiden Rio, Winshire, and Kingman.
No, I'm going to go with So Hard just to kind of mess it up a bit.
Yeah.
Boring.
Boring.
We've had a question in from Tony Amato, our resident Scouse that isn't Adam. He asked, what have I got on? I thought only us Scousers wore footy shirts. Now, that is a very good point. Only Scousers do wear football shirts, but I bought this in a Scouse style. It is a fake shirt, and it only costs €3. So, cheap and cheerful from the market. There you go, Tony. That's your question answered. But I think we'll be disappointed if Kingman couldn't win tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd also be disappointed if he didn't turn up.
Yeah. Something that would be even more disappointing than if Kingman didn't turn up is this next race. The Verve Clico Vintage Stakes, a Group 2 in name only. Last year, Tormore beat Outstrip in this. Now, that was a very good renewal of the race. This, I just don't know. Highland Real's come over for Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien, I think, was he 0 from 12 with his 2-year-olds at Goodwood, I think it is, I read earlier.
Oh,
it's just not a good race at all. Like, 2P is completely unexposed down in the bottom. Richard Hughes chooses 2P over Dr. No, but I just cannot get excited about this race whatsoever. Can any of you at all?
I couldn't get excited by it.
No.
Highland Real won really impressively last time out at Goran, but that was over a mile, and I'm worried about the step back in trip for him, and I don't actually want to be taking him on tomorrow. And the one, I know me and Michael agree, I think Dr. No, who was 7th in the Coventry, the step up in trip should help, and the Coventry form is working out as well. And with Ryan Moore on board, that's not a negative at all, so I think Dr. No could be the one to be on here.
Yeah, sure, why not? Michael?
Adam's just stole what I said to him like 5
We
minutes.
agreed.
I just think Dr. No is just comes in with some actual okay form, as with the rest. We were talking earlier, if we actually ever heard of some of these horses that are running in a Group 2. It's ridiculous. I've never had so many times when I've actually had to research a horse in a group race.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I thought Dr. No ran really well, but never really got to the Wow Signal, who won by a length and 3/4. And he wasn't, it was a really tight finishing behind the Wow Signal with Capella, Sansevero, Jungle Cat, Justice Good, Cody Bear, Angelic Lord, Dr. No, and Ade, all about a length between all 6 of them. So I think that's really solid form. Obviously, Capella, Sansevero came out next time out and didn't run atrociously. Was second, wasn't he? Was he second last time out?
No, it was.
He ran poorly, but he was playing up beforehand, so I don't think that's his real representation.
I know. Yeah.
And plus, he was turned out quickly. I mean, I know Cool Countries would turn out quickly, but
I think he's a better horse than that, and he was a better horse than that in his previous starts. So I think he'll come out and prove that completely wrong next time he races. Looks like he's entered at York actually. Dr. No, I can't get excited about anything else, to be honest. I think Mark Johnson is going to have a rather good, glorious Goodwood, so I wouldn't put you off anything of his. But tomorrow, I think, bar made in Rio, the others look like they need to find a little bit.
Yeah, especially coming from Pontefract. But on debut, did push Snapshots, was in 2 1/4 length. Snapshots was 3rd in the Norfolk, I believe, or 2nd in the Norfolk.
One since as well, yeah.
So that form is building up. You'd have to give him a chance, wouldn't you? Highland Real won really nicely last time out. The 3rd has won since, so maybe there's a bit of substance to that form, but 6 to 5 is awfully short. I mean, I'm not one for stats at all, but if you are, then Aidan O'Brien 0 from 12 with 2-year-olds at Goodwood. I mean, if you want to read into that, then fair enough. But
and his 2-year-olds this year, the ones he's brought over to England, haven't really done very much. So
it could be a case that he hasn't got as good a 2-year-old in previous years. But as far as win purposes go, I just don't know.
I think the one that has got actually quite good form is Alain Amrati for Peter Chapelheim at the top, beaten 3 3/4 lengths by Faith Elg and then 2 lengths by Cool Company. His actual Group 2 form.
Yeah.
I think this is a weaker race, so I think there's a possibility that he could. And he's, just because it's the Aidan O'Brien Ballydoyle factor, Alain Amrati is actually a backable price at around 5 to 1.
Yeah.
For fun, as a selection, I put up Pallister, but I wouldn't even dream of
He'll appreciate the step up in trip here, definitely. He was crying out for a step up in trip last time out when he won, so
yeah, it's just not a race to get really excited about. Although, if you guys are watching, if you've got a strong fancy in this, then we'd love to hear it, because honestly, I have absolutely no clue. I think it's a really disappointing race, and not being offensive to the horses in it, but a Group 2, it just doesn't really feel like a Group 2 whatsoever. It feels more sort of a listed race. But that'll be the final race on Channel 4 tomorrow. We then got a maiden fillies race that was won last year by, I think it was Valonia.
It was indeed.
Yes, and then I was going to say he was second, but I completely forgot, even though I followed it off a cliff since. Then after that, we've got a decent enough race. Agent Allison's become disappointing, tops the weights. Hot Coffee is consistent. Waterhole will be favourite, completely unexposed, really. Are you laughing at that name?
Yeah.
Right, okay, right. This is the height of professionalism here on the other Who. But I don't know. I wouldn't know which way to go for win purposes again here, if I'm honest. Adam, do you have any strong selection or?
Well, quite a few people have been tweeting in with Waterhole as a selection. I can see the angle where they're coming from. She's unexposed and she won nicely on her comeback start this year. But looking for the rest of the field, because she is so unexposed, I'd actually be wanting to keep her on side, so I probably would end up going with her. So, yeah, I think she's the one to beat, definitely.
Yeah.
Further down. Well, I liked Hot Coffee last time out when she was 20-1 before all the non-runners formed, and then she went on 3-1 favourite.
I think Hot Coffee would prefer softer ground.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. And I'm not sure about step up in trip for her either.
Yeah,
mile and one, I'm not sure that's what she wants either. I think she wants 7 furlongs on soft ground.
Insco, not on Brockwell.
I don't know if he's had a falling out with the owners.
Possibly, I think.
Because he hasn't ridden Brockwell. I don't think it was his fault at Ascot, if I'm honest, but he did get caught behind 2 horses coming back, Sardinia and the Sheikh Hamdan horse. I've completely forgotten the name. My apologies for that. But it wasn't really his fault. He just got caught in a hole and lost a bit of ground. Whether the owners didn't take too kindly to that, but they booked Kieran Fallon next time out. Haley Turner took that ride because Kieran Fallon got injured, but it could just be the owners taking something not kindly, because there'd be no really excuse for not having him on, because he is there tomorrow. He's riding Hot Coffee, so I don't know. As far as I know, anyway, there's no reason why he shouldn't ride. But yeah, that would be the reason. Would you have any sort of fancies for the race?
Not really. There's nothing that really pops out. I think it'd be interesting to see what they look like in the paddock. I know that sounds like a really weak thing in a handicap, but I think I just want something to pop out, or something I read, or something I hear, to be honest, because there's nothing that really screams they're going to win tomorrow. Nothing that really catches my eye in my sense. I think hiking could be an interesting one for James Dunn and Roger Charlton, but that's the only thing that's popping out. I can't get excited about that whatsoever.
No, it's hard to. Waterhole would have to be the interesting one in the race anyway. Completely unexposed. Again, it's not really a race that you'd really want to get excited about. It's a lot of money as well. Waterhole costs 525,000 guineas.
So I think they're hoping for a bit of return for that, John Gosden. And I'll just check. I don't think Gosden actually had a runner. No, he didn't. He didn't have a runner at Goodwood today. So he seems to be going in with a few more tomorrow. Let me just check how many he's got. He's got quite a few tomorrow. Cloudscape.
That's
that
Gregorian's not in.
Kingman, that can't be right either, and Waterhole, so he's got 3 tomorrow. And he had
why would Kingman not be right?
Yeah, Cloudscape, Kingman, and Waterhole.
You said Kingman, that can't be right either.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I said Kingman, and then I said can't be right about.
Okay, right. I was going to say.
I kind of had inside voice. So he's got 3 tomorrow: Cloudscape, Kingman, and Waterhole. So John Gosden is champion trainer at the moment, in the running at the moment.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't been for a couple of years.
He's an absolute genius.
Yeah, I think he's a really good trainer. I think he could have. Well, Kingman's probably. I think Kingman will win. Cloudscape could go close, and Waterhole's favourite, and looks another one that's.
Well, Tony Amato says that Waterhole's a good thing, and that is good enough for me because I believe he might stab me otherwise. Moving on to the last race in the day.
You find your own jokes far too amusing.
I can just picture his reaction there.
Oh, right, okay.
And I don't think I can use the language on this show because. Oh no, it's past 9 o'clock. But,
No. People may be watching in the morning, and then that's not the watershed. So yeah.
Vice Adam. The last race. Any quick fancy before we move on to the Galway Plate?
Are we doing that? I don't know.
Well, yeah, we get a quick mention anyway.
Not particularly. I have to admit, again, there's nothing that stuck out on a quick look, but I suppose probably have to look into it again. I think Lulu the Zulu could be interesting with second to Scottish Glen at Ascot last time. And I also think Piscino for the Onto a Winner had a little bit of a break now. Probably wants it a bit softer, to be honest, though, but I think that one is fairly versatile. And also, I want to talk about the Mark Johnson horse because I just have a feeling he's going to have another one, but I don't think Little Shambles is going to be the one because only won twice and both wins come over 7 furlongs of cap trick.
That describes your betting day, doesn't it?
What?
Little shambles.
I tipped you a winner,
Yeah.
but then I only put like £2 on myself.
Mate.
Yeah, I'm really proud of myself for that.
Adam, any quick fancies for the last race at Goodwood tomorrow?
Well, we had a tweet from Jeff Hanley, which I find quite interesting. He says, Inform Kivo sends George Root on the long journey to Goodwood in the last, and Ryan Moore takes the ride. I think that's a tip in itself, isn't
That's
it?
a very That's a very.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you for that. That's a good one, that. I think that's a tip in itself. It's just, you're going all that way for one runner.
And Ryan Moore's booked. It has the same feeling as the Hugo Palmer horse today. Ryan Moore was booked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Hugo Palmer does use Ryan Moore a bit more.
Yeah,
Keith
more
Dalglish,
Dalglish does, yeah.
not so much, probably because Ryan
I
Moore.
think we should coin a term for these. I think we should just coin it the Quick Jack.
Quick check.
From October, where Ruby came over for one ride for the whole weekend. Tony Martin brings over. No, he brought over Ted Beale as well. We brought over one runner for the day, and it was the only thing they had. So yeah, we'll just coin it that.
So talking about Tony Martin, he hasn't actually got one in the Galway plate that I can see anyway, or as we like to call him, Alan Martin, apparently. But the Galway plate is probably not the best renewal of it, if I'm honest. Adam, you're very sweet on Cad du Burley.
Yes, I am. Well,
One of my horses to follow.
one of my horses to follow for this upcoming season, well, he was. If he wins tomorrow,
One sec. I just got something to say. Adam, when you napped him, where did you finish?
he came last, but he ran very well in, I don't know how far. I think he was only beaten 11 lengths actually. He wasn't far. He was,
Lost.
but he just got outpaced. And his 2 handicap runs at indices at Cheltenham and Aintree were really good off big weights. And I had a feeling at the end of the jump season that Paul Nicholls was going to map him out towards something like the Paddy Power Gold Cup, which I thought would have been absolutely perfect for him. Instead, he comes here, and his mark in England over fences is 149, but he actually runs here off 144. I just think he's been laid out for this, and I'm really, really sweet on his chances. If there was another one in the race I'd have a look at, I think Balmer Slow is another one as well, who I think doesn't quite get 3 miles, but I think this trip will suit him down to the ground as well. Also, whilst Callum's not here, I'll read out his 2 selections. He didn't tell us them, but you can guess anyway. Spring Heeled, who he fancied for a long time to win a big handicap, and he won the Kimya under a brilliant ride from Robin McNamara. And he also likes Vulcanite as well, with Noel Feely taking the ride for Charlie Longston. And he's a reformed horse this year, this summer as well, so he could run a big race as well. But yeah, Cad de Burley I'm very sweet on him tomorrow. I think he can run a big race.
Yeah, fair enough. I couldn't touch Cad de Burley, if I'm honest, but okay. we'll lay off that. Cad de Burley was my good thing for the Greatwood Hurdle, and then Paul Nicholls didn't run. Didn't let him run. But A Up Charlie had sort of coming in this after a break, but headgear first time is notable for me. Andrew Lynch doesn't take the ride. I believe he's been dropped off for Andrew McNamara. They were talking to Andrew McNamara on at the races earlier on, and Andrew Lynch said to him on the phone that he was quite sweet on his chances and actually fancied him a little bit. So 14-1, I think, is a fair price about A Up Charlie cheap piece first time. So he'd be my main selection. As for the rest, I'm not 100% sure really what I'd say for the second. Alderwood isn't one that I can never really get right. But no, the only one I could really touch in the race is A Up Charlie, but it's not really a race that I'd be having a huge bet in if I'm perfectly honest. Anything that catches your eye?
Yeah, I do like Cad de Burley, been really frustrating. Always seems to be in the placing, but never seems to get his head out in front. And I have to agree with Callum Spring Heeled, I think, on this kind of ground, especially if he gets, not an easy lead, but just he's allowed to sit out in front and jump in his own kind of time without being pressured too much. I think he'll be very difficult to peg back. And I think this distance is no problem whatsoever. Of the others, I would be avoiding Art of Logistics. I thought that one was disappointing when in these kind of big, tough handicaps. Seems to have found himself in the last 3 times back in Ireland. But once again, I think I'll be sticking with Spring Heeled in this. But I have to agree with Callum. This actually excites me a lot more than most of the races at Goodwood.
Yeah, was it Callum's quote, as if the Galway Plate is the best race on the day with Glorious Goodwood on, which I'm sure Callum is absolutely devastated about. Sorry, Will Bowler's corrected me that Andrew Lynch got injured the last day at somewhere. I didn't read the rest of it, but Andrew Lynch is injured, that's why he's not taking the ride, which is probably more understandable than me and Jocked off in my because going through some of your questions and fancies now, it's your last chance to send them in, and we'll try and read as many out as possible. We'll try and read all of them out actually, which starting now, we have a lot in tonight, so thank you very much for your participation. Tom Neal says that Aidan O'Brien is 0 from 12 at Goodwood. Is that 0 from 12 just full stop?
No, he's had winners at Goodwood before. No, it'll be with 2-year-olds.
I imagine 2-year-olds, yeah.
Or it could be in the last couple of seasons. I don't know.
Is Highland real quick enough for 7 furlongs?
I don't think he is.
Possibly not. Yeah.
That's pretty much what everyone said. Adam said that earlier on, and you said about the 0 to 12.
I stole it from him.
Oh, right.
Thanks, Tom. Phil Dinsdale says the Romford Pele has got to have a great chance in the play.
The Ramford Peak, do you mean?
Well, he would have if he would have been entered.
Yeah.
Well,
He's not in it.
No.
Oh no, sorry. He corrects himself later on, saying it's a non-runner. Okay,
Oh,
right. Thanks. Sorry, Phil. Tony Amato says Adams and Posh Boy's opinion on the 450 mate. Waterhole looks to have a good bet to me. My only bet on the card.
That's the worst Scouse accent I've ever heard in my life.
Basically,
what I said earlier about Waterhole, I think that she should be the one to beat in that race.
You'd be a pro at nailing Scouse accents, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't.
Kai Wills, could you ask the panel, please, which would be the safest option at Goodwood tomorrow? Made in Rio, Highland, Real, etc., etc. Safest bet, I'd probably say Made in Rio.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
Etc. Oh, did he just?
No, just like he's saying horses basically.
Oh, right.
Like would either of them two get
Kingman?
Kingman would probably be the safest bet. However, I don't think that's what Kai's looking for. Safest bet for me would be Windshear each way. At 8 to 1, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't mind backing each way, Windshear at 8 to 1 is a massive price for me. A safe bet for tomorrow, Adam?
A safe bet. I'd probably agree with you on Windshear. It's a bigger price than some of the others, like Made in Rio, Kingman. I'm trying to think. Captain Burley in the Galway Plate is a safe bet. No.
If you're on crack, then yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Philip Dinsdale. He said zinc oxide tape over your blisters tomorrow. Won't feel a thing.
Did you bring your zinc oxide down?
I didn't.
Oh, you idiot! You should always bring zinc oxide.
How did I forget that?
You should always.
And also, isn't zinc spelled with a C?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the name. Maybe it's specifically spelled with that. I've never heard of it, I have to admit. But yeah, I'll just order it for like next week.
Yeah. Well, I hope
to recover your feet.
If not, you got.
Thanks very much, Phil. I'll have to see if
we'll call him Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil. Where's Private Sean tonight, by the way?
Yeah.
Will Bowler, I forgot to read out your tweet yesterday, Will, so I'm sorry, but it didn't really serve you any problems because
I was worried. He looked dangerous at some point.
Yeah, three grand ran a cracking race, but just petered out at the end. Will says, uninspiring betting day tomorrow. I think it's just an uninspiring day, full stop, if I'm perfectly honest. I thought, however, the nap is the Confessor each way in the last at Goodwood.
Oh, the Confessor loves Goodwood, doesn't he? I remember that. He's a real Goodwood stalwart. Let me have a look. I can't even find him. Oh, he's at the top. Yeah, this is easier than the races he normally contests, in fairness. Like, he was behind Absolutely So on his return to action at Goodwood. Didn't run so well last time out, I'd say. But, yeah, I can't put you off that. His record at Goodwood actually isn't that good, but I think his place record is probably better than his win record, in fairness. So, as an each-way bet, I think the Confessor, can't put you off whatsoever, and he must be a decent price, actually. He's about 12 to 1.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't put anyone off anything that Will says. Will is very, very good. Phil Dinsdale then corrected himself, as I mentioned earlier on. The Ramford Pete, as we like to call him on this show, is a non-runner, so he's siding with Spring Hill in the Galway Plate, and he's also given an each-way double at Galway for Spring Hill and Spring Focus. I'm not sure if he's just going for the springs there, or if he actually does fancy them, but good luck to you with that, Phil. TJ Heasy, positive words for the Windshear appeal, especially because I've backed it already. Congratulations, go collect. Sorry, I'm not that cocky, but I actually think Windshear's got a huge chance if I haven't already said it. Jeff Handley, as we mentioned earlier on, The informed Keith Dalglish sends Georgia Rook on a long journey to Goodwood in the last Ryan Moore ride. I think, as Adam said earlier on, that's a tip in itself, isn't it?
Mm.
I got retweeted by Cam Hardy saying take a bow after his sit on viewpoint. That was amazing from Cam Hardy. His saddle just completely
Ride
disappeared.
of the day.
I think it fouled.
Part
Came off because he got disqualified. Yeah.
all of it did though.
But he got disqualified as a result.
Yeah,
Because he didn't
really harsh of the stewards taking objection, or the clerk of scales taking objection to that. But we'll come back in again. You've got to mention Dynamite in the Sandown 8:35. Hashtag Southall form, of course he would be.
God.
Two horses have run from that race last time, both have won. I do believe Will actually tipped Dynamite to me at Southall that day, and he won by pretty much half the straight, which is a good thing to do at Southall. Yeah. But yeah, no, fair play. Good luck. That will. Tony Martin says that Waterhole's a good thing. Jake Acaster or Acaster. I never know how to say that name. I usually go
Acaster.
Acaster.
Yeah, confirm it, please.
Yeah. Jake, we need that confirmed, please. It's been long enough now, I'm afraid. Is that a Monaco shirt you have on? I'm a legend, apparently.
Monaco?
It is a Monaco shirt, yeah. It's fake.
Who plays for Monaco?
Well, a long time ago. No, they had Jerome Roten.
I've never heard of
Jerome Roten was awesome. They had Ludovic Julie. I was there when they knocked us out of the Champions League. It hurt.
He became a closet Monaco fan.
No, but it is a really nice shirt. But I got it in. Ironically, I got it when I was on a school trip in Barcelona for €3. So
right.
a really international appeal there. English person in Spain buying French shirt. Private Sean. Private Sean's in.
Yay!
Private Sean has spelt Spring-Heeled wrong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Sprint-heeled.
Private Sean has spelt Spring-Heeled wrong 8 times.
That is an achievement. Well done.
I'm sure he's done it deliberately, but have a bit more respect, Private.
I've got a couple of questions, only quick ones. Play to Winners got in touch. Kingman and Made in Rio double the good things. Probably say that. Would you two agree with that?
Who's that again?
Kingman and Made in Rio, are they the good things tomorrow? Yeah. And my other question was from Ian McKittrick. Hi Ian. He says, any of you lads know where Wentworth has disappeared to this year? All I know is that he came back into training and haven't heard anything since. I think he's probably injured and he'll either be back next year or he's gone to stud. I genuinely don't know.
Don't know, yeah.
Perhaps.
Odds on a postcard, please.
Yeah.
And Sean, one last tweet in from Sean, or Private Sean, sorry, saving Private Strice. Not many people will be queuing up to save Private Strice, but
not many people find that amusing either, to be honest.
No.
Poor effort.
Yeah. Private Sean, if you're going to try and come up to the big leagues, my friend, actually be funny, or leave the funny stuff
also,
to the funny people.
Phil's come back and said I can get it from Boots.
Oh, the zinc oxide.
Zinc oxide, whatever it's called. Yep. So
we'll get Adam to rub it on your feet tomorrow. Or if
my sideshow Bob moment.
Oxide onto Michael's feet, then
any offers, just call.
That's the competition.
Yeah.
If your nap wins tomorrow, you can grab a zinc oxide onto Michael's feet.
Let's find the biggest price nap winner there.
Yeah. Right. Have we got a Naughty Luck 15 for tomorrow?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We've struggled largely at Goodwood, so we've had to go elsewhere here. We've got Majiza, Mr. Nibbles, Jack Be Quick, and Thrust Control. It's a good word, thrust. Thrust. Yeah, and my nap.
Yeah, nap.
Kingman.
That's not allowed.
2 to 5.
That is difficult.
If you put him in a double, you can put him in a double. There we go. Because Callum has given us a treble.
I just want to do Windshear now.
Yeah.
Windshear. Windshear. Do I even have to go each way? I'll just question that.
Yeah. So you're going for Windshear?
Yeah, I think so. I'm surprised that I think Hughes and Hannon are going to be really out for it tomorrow, and that's their first runner. I don't think they've got a runner in the first. No. So yeah, I think they're going to really be hungry for it, having not had a winner today.
I agree with Windshear. I think he's also going to be my nap as well. And we have a solid record.
Have an excellent
very good record. When we agree, we have a very good record.
Royal Ascot, we napped Hootenanny, Tilly Power, and Canny Chase. Yeah. And they all won.
Yeah, and the other 2 days we disagreed on naps. And they lost.
And they both ran awful.
For me, Winshire would be my nap of the day. Probably not each way either. I think he's a very solid each way bet, and I'd be really, really disappointed if he couldn't place. But for win purposes, I think he's a huge price as well. At Sandown is one that I also really fancy. I've completely forgotten what race it's in.
You told it me earlier. I remember you telling me.
The 7:30. There's a horse called Halation who was with Marco Botti, then got sold to Qatar Racing. He's now trained by David Simcock. Jamie Spencer takes the ride. He's not the easiest of horses. He won not by a long way last time at Newcastle, but he travels so well. I think he's just a horse that does nothing when he hits the front. So in that respect, Jamie Spencer could be a very, very good jockey to ride him. So Halation for me is about 2-1, but Callum's complimenting my shirt. Thanks, Cowdog.
And he's bottled the treble as well. Ooh. He did have a treble. His treble originally was Kingman, Made in Rio, Highland Real, but he's taken Highland Real out and he's now given us a double of Made in Rio and Kingman.
That's a fairly soft double.
Yeah, very soft double.
It should come off. But
it should.
But yeah, Halation at Sandown I think has got a great chance, but my nap tomorrow is going to be Winshire. Adam, your nap?
Well, I'm not going to jump on the Winshire thing because it would probably lose if I did. So
I am
going to go a bit more left field though. I'm not going to be boring. I'm not going to go Made in Rio, Kingman or anything. I'm actually going to put Dr. No because I just think his Coventry run was a good run, and I just think that he's got the beating of Highland Real tomorrow. So Dr. No will be my nap.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, when the panel agrees on a nap and Adam doesn't, it more than usually wins.
It really works.
And I forgot a tweet that Sean sent in. Sorry, Sean, I didn't mean to ignore you. If anyone beats Made in Rio, it would be Presto Volant. I didn't ignore you. There we go.
Yeah,
Volante.
Adam did mention him. Didn't really say it right, but
Michael did mention him, you
mean. Surname is how you said it. It says Acaster.
Well, how I said it? Oh, yes, I win. Acaster.
Ah. Well, I've been saying Acaster for so long now, I think.
Yeah, I win. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Jay. Thank you everyone for your participation tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic. We're getting so many more views on our videos now, and it's actually taking off a little bit. But
that's so sweet.
Michael's fired as well. Michael will not be here much longer. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching and your participation. It makes the videos much more enjoyable because otherwise we have to listen to this bullbag talk about fancies that he doesn't overly like. But there's another video tonight. We may be back tomorrow. Not 100% sure on that.
We're not quite sure what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah, so
hopefully the racing will be better on Thursday.
Yeah, stay tuned on Twitter to see if we will be doing shows tomorrow.
If we're not, I think we'll probably tweet selections if we're not able to do a video.
Well, how about we should if you want us on the video tomorrow, then we'll send a tweet out and you have to favourite it. And if we get over,
good.
If we get over 1, we'll do it.
Yeah, if we get a favourite, that could be very disappointing. But no, we will try and keep you guys informed of if we're going to do a video tomorrow night, and hopefully we will. But no promises, I'm afraid. But that is it for tonight's show. Thank you very much for joining us here on The Other Hoof. We hope you can join us. Probably Thursday evening is when our next one's going to be. But until then, goodbye.
You stole